Good evening, everyone. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Gavra Racing here on a Sunday for the Weekend League Tier 1 for rounds 5 and 6 of this season. And we are live from Las Vegas on the Strip for the midway part of the season. I'm Jack TM53. It's a pleasure and a privilege to be back once again commentating on this fantastic league. We've got cars out on circuit navigating the 16 corners and 3.803 miles of tarmac laid out in front of us. But before we comment on what is going on out on circuit at the moment, let's have a look at the current championship standings. So, Born Winner leads the way on 62 points. In second, it's TGT Chris in a Red Bull on 48. It doesn't look like Chris is here this evening. In third, it's Ben Roberts on 42, with Natty G in fourth on 40, and Mr. Mankin is in fifth position, but he also isn't here this evening. So the two of the top five are going to be losing out on points. In terms of the team standings, it's Aston Martin leading the way on 102. That is Born Winner and ex-Natty G in that car. Red Bull a second on 69, which is TGT Chris, and the only representative on the track tonight, F1 Dino. Third is McLaren on 52, with Mercedes on 40 points in fourth, and Williams rounding out of the top five in the championship. So we're here at Vegas, a difficult circuit, one to navigate. We've seen some action already earlier this evening with the Tier 2 drivers. Now we're out of track with the Tier 1s. We had safety cars earlier on, just the one in both races. And tonight, of course, we would typically have just the one race, 150% race, but change of format for tonight, as it's part of the 35% race and 25% ruling we have for the third round, in quotation marks, of the championship. So a little bit of a difference for the Tier 1 drivers tonight, as Diego sets the current fastest lap. However, provision being he's one of only two drivers to have set a lap until Denmark comes across the line in P1. Denmark racing, of course, in Tier 2 earlier, had a bit of a mare. Did Denmark. He's going to be hoping for some better results tonight. Jolt there as well. He's just gone fastest on a 132 flat. And then Joss goes into the 131s. Our fastest lap in qualifying in Tier 2 was a 131.8. So we're already getting right down to that lap time already within the first 4.5 minutes of the short qualifying session that we've got here. For those that are wondering in terms of the difference in format for tonight, you have a short qualifying session for the first race. We have the 35% race as Ben Roberts goes P1, and then for the second race we have a one-shot qualifying system, so drivers will only get one lap for an opportunity to set a lap time. Born Winner is now on pole by 400ths pretty much of a second there. The Aston Martin driver looking to extend his championship lead. He's been driving well this season. Had a few races last season where he was really competitive, but this year's game just seems to be really hooked up nicely in that Aston Martin. So let's see how he does. Well, Ben Roberts, a good performance from him last week in Jeddah. He'll be open for more of the same. Overwatch there in third position. Joss and Shortbread rounding out the top five. Of course, Shortbread, a former champion within Tier 1. He's looking to climb back to the heights that he knows he's capable of doing. Shortbread not in the top five in the championship so far, so that's just showing you the competitiveness of this championship thus far. Got a number of drivers still yet to set a lap time. We've got 12 cars having set a lap so far. Piero and Dino are both on laps currently. We're following the Alpine as he chucks the car into the final couple of corners. Very hesitant on the throttle is Piero. I wonder if he's going to come into the pits. That is the case. Dino just navigating turn 10 into 11, then this completely flat left-hander. And then right up the way through the gears. Let's have a look at his top speed as we approach turn 13. He's 217, 18 miles an hour. Is he going to go quicker than that? He is. 219, and then on the brakes, down into this heavy braking zone. Got to get the line right over the curb. You don't want to hit the plank too hard, otherwise you'll skate over it and lose a lot of lap time. He gets a nice little tow from the car in front, one of the Mercedes. That was, I think it's Shortbread. And over the line, Dino does a 132.2, which puts him on the 4th row of the grid, but he's 7/10 away from the best lap so far. Still a number of drivers out on track. Natty G warming up his tyres. We've got the Williams we're following of Jan. He's just working his way through this very difficult corner here at turn 10, really challenging to navigate, and then 11 at the same time. 10 and 11 are kind of two in one corner, really. And he blasts towards the turn 13 corner at the end of this straight. Now, the thing is, the drivers, we've got to keep an eye out for the mile-an-hours around here, because we'll see who's running less wing, and Jan is certainly running less wing than what Dino was. 221 mile an hour we had there, so 2 miles an hour quicker. That might not mean a lot to some of you who are watching, but it will make a difference in the race, you know, for those that can't overtake or might have to struggle a little bit. Might use a bit more battery for those that are running more wing. Dino's had a lap time up in 7th, Jan down in 14th for 134.2, just 2/10 off the back of JMB Sterile, who scored points earlier in the Tier 2 races. He did some good battling out there, did Dino. Following the Alfa Romeo as Psycho, a guy you would expect to be near the top of the standings. Just hasn't really been at the races this season for whatever reason. He's apparently done the fastest first sector of anybody, according to the Delta times I've got on my screen. Oh, right on the limit at the turn 10-11 corner there. Fantastic to see. A couple of yellow flags out on circuit, but nothing to worry about. No one's spun, just drivers slowing down, getting out of the way. But 4 drivers in the 31s. Not all of them are comfortably in the 31s, has to be noted. As I say that, Natty G makes himself the 5th driver on a 31.9. Can Psycho do the same thing in the Alfa Romeo? He's going to blast towards the final corner. Let's see what this lap time is from Psycho. It's a 31.6. And he joins the group of 6 drivers now in the 31s. It's a nice effort. Only a 1/10 of a second off Born winner. So some good performance, clearly, from the Alfa Romeo. Still 2 cars yet to set a lap. Shari and Piero. Shari is currently out on a lap at the moment. His Ferrari teammate Joss up in 5th place presently. And Shari's going to get a very distant tow from one of the Haas cars in front of him. That'll help him in terms of straight line speed. He's running a little bit more downforce as Shari, though. He's obviously a little bit more conscious of the turn 7 and 8 corners, just to make sure he gets the car turned in. He's getting a really nice distant tow from the Haas in front. This is looking like a decent effort from the Ferrari. It's a 33.1, puts him 13th on the grid, 7th row currently. We've got loads of action now out on circuit, lots of cars out on track now, trying to set a lap time. It's going to be hard for us to keep up with the action. Joss is one of them who we're following, the other Ferrari. He's going to cut the car. Oh, he runs a little bit deep through turn 13. He might just get away with it. Thought he might have been offline. Here he comes towards the final corner, turn 16. This is looking like a better lap from Joss. And it is. It puts him 4th on a 31.8. But still 3/10 away from Born winner on pole position provisionally. Seeing a couple of other cars coming towards the line. Diego's gone out on a set of medium tyres. Had to crash, but he has done. The other problem is he's got wiggly style just behind him. Now Ben Roberts, the McLaren, in 2nd place. Looking to carry on his good form from Jeddah. Gets the car clipped in nicely through turn 10 and 11. And he's going to get, this is a great bit of teamwork, a lovely tow from his teammates. He's going to be flying along. This is exactly the example you want to see Already going up through the miles an hour, 222, 23, 24, 25. He's going to go even quicker than that. His teammate pulls right out of the way. That's a lot of time gained on the main straight. We just blipped 227 miles an hour. That's what helps there with good teamwork. And he'll do the same for the steps in a moment. This could be a very good lap from Ben. He comes around the final corner. The lap time is a 1:31.4. It gets him provisional pole. That's great from the Woking team. And in fact, the steps actually went back into the pits there. So really good effort from those two McLaren drivers. Boom, winner those strikes back. He doesn't need a teammate to help him tow along. I'm sure him and Natty G will have spoke about it, but Bourne winner was a 1:31.3, and that's without a tow. That's fabulous from the Aston Martin driver. Well, who else have we got out on a lap? We've got Dino on a lap. We've got Piero, who's invalidated, but he's 11th. Diego's still going round on his medium tyres. I've got a question that I have to say. But Dino's the one we're watching, the man who is looking for another good result. He finished third earlier on in his Tier 2 event. 2 weeks in a row he's had third place, so Dino's finding some form. He's got to try and do that here tonight as well. Not an easy circuit, Vegas. Now Dino is up on his time. This is looking like a good effort. Could get him into the 31s. He's just got to spot his braking zone, which hasn't quite done, but he's nice and committed out of turn 13. So this is looking so far so good for the Red Bull. Here he comes, completely flat around the final corner. Is this going to be a 31? No, it's not. But he's inside the top 10 still on a 32.1. I have to say, for a track that's 3.8 kilometres and mainly consists of some large straights, there's quite a lot of gaps in the field so far. Ben Roberts, Bourne winner, seeking their first championship titles. Ben looking for his first Tier 1 title. He has had a Tier 2 victory before. Ben saying it was on used tyres his lap, so more to come from the McLaren man. So ex-Natty G is also on our flying lap, the former champ himself. Got a few champions in tonight. As always this season, he's improving as well. This could be a good effort from Natty G, but he's got to get the braking zone right here. This is the way he can gain so much time in the final sector, and that's nicely done. Really nice use of the gears as well to go slightly higher, just to tame the wheel spin over the curbs. It's a complete blast to the line from the Aston Martin, using all of the battery that he can. It's a 1:31.6. That puts him third. And Aston Martin looking very strong tonight. And that will be that for Natty G. He won't have enough time to get back round to get a new set of tyres on. So Natty's best qualifying will see him in third position. But we are in the last couple of minutes. Lots of action, lots of people talking in the comments. Great to see you. Do give Gavra Racing a subscribe if you can. If you're following us here on Twitch, it'd be great to have you permanently on board. It's wonderful to have lots of action. Oh, that's a bit of an awkward one. Was JMB Surreal? I was just watching somebody else then, but JMB Surreal, I think, just got caught up behind the Ferrari. I don't think he was on a lap. I could be mistaken there, but I think Joss got caught sleeping a little bit. Well, this is it now. The drivers are emerging on their outlaps. I'm looking to see Dino's just coming out of the pit lane. He will just about make it, I think. It's going to be very tight. But he's only just come out of the pit lane now. And the 1:32 is his best effort, and he's come out with 1:34 seconds to go. So let's see how he gets on. Now Denmark is on a lap and he's using all... Oh, Joss has got a time penalty. Not ideal for him. I wonder what he's done there. Not sure what that's for. Joss is going to be 5 places lower than wherever he qualifies, but Denmark on the brakes into turn 13. And Denmark's coming back into the pit. So that is Denmark's qualifying session over. And a couple of other drivers now starting their lap. Steps is already out there. Diego's on a lap. Piero's on a lap. You got Jan further down. He's actually coming back into the pits, as is JMB Surreal. So those two will start 17th and 18th. Born Winner starts his flying lap. We're following one of the McLarens. That's the Steps in 12th place. And he needs to make a big improvement here. He's going to come towards the second time beam, just down this main straight, in between turn 12 and 13. What's his effort so far? He's 7 tenths up, so this is looking like a good improvement. But right now, he needs a bit more than that to get higher into the top 10. He's got to nail this final corner, which he does. Oh, a little slide through the corner. He'll get away with that. And here goes the Steps around the final corner at turn 16. What's this effort from the McLaren? It's a 31.8, and that's much more like it for McLaren. 2 cars in the top 5. Now it's everybody else's turn to respond. Born Winner is out there. We're following the Ferrari of... Just trying to see who the Ferrari that is. It looks like Joss, who we're following. What's his second sector time going to be like? Well, he's improving. He's kind of got to improve, really, does Joss. Otherwise, he's going to start way outside the top 10. We've got a few cars coming across the line. Oh, and Joss is round, and he's lost it at the turn 15. And that is that for Joss. He won't start any higher than 12th. Born Winner. That's Overwatch, by the way, up to second. I didn't even comment on that, but that's a great effort from him. Overwatch, will he improve on his lap? He's looked brilliant so far. He does! It's a 30.9. Fantastic effort from the Aston Martin. Psycho now coming across the line. What's his effort? It's a 31.5. Puts him on the second row of the grid. Couple of more cars coming through the final corners. We've got Shari, who's going to be next up in the other Ferrari. What's his effort? He goes a little bit quicker, but he stays 15th. It's going to be Shortbread, the last of the drivers, maybe to get in the 31s. More than that, he's up to 5th. Good effort from the Mercedes. And Dino crosses the line in 9th in the background. But that is some effort from Born Winner, a 130.9. That is fabulous. Great effort from him. I'll be back shortly, but that is a great qualifying from the Aston Martin. He wants to lead from the front, does Born Winner, and he is doing exactly that. Let's run through the qualifying order. So on first row of the grid, we've got Born Winner and Overwatch. Then it's Ben Roberts and Psycho on row 2 with Shortbread and X90G 5th and 6th. The Steps and Joss are 7th and 8th with Dino and Jolt rounding out the top 10. However, Joss will start in 13th place. So it'll be Dino in 8th, Jolt 9th and Denmark in 10th. Diego, great qualifying, will start 11th with Piero 12th. Then it's Joss, Wiggly Style be 14th with Shari, Fenny Sarosi, Jan and JMB Surreal rounding out top 18. We'll be back in a So looking at it, so far so good. And we got the two Aston Martin and Mercedes cars on the front row of the grid. Who will make the best start? And the race is live here from Vegas with a 35% race. It looks like a good start from the front row. And it's going to be Born Winner into turn one, trying to hold the outside line. Overwatch is there too. Ben Roberts is right behind. All the cars looking so good so far. Josh is down to 15th. Not a good start for him. Wiggly Star's dropping places, but it's Born Winner leading the way. But Overwatch has got a great run out of turn number 4, and he's going to go through, I think, on the inside. Psycho's trying to do the same for Ben Roberts. They break a little bit later, but it's Overwatch in the lead. Good start for him. Ben Roberts has managed to hold off in third place. We've got Denmark, unfortunately, off the road. And I think he's gone in the wall as well, sadly. And that is a shame for the Williams driver, but he's just going to have to get on with it. But Overwatch leads the two front drivers on the soft compound tyres, and that's an Alpine round as well. Actually, it's not an Alpine, it's a Williams that's gone backwards. So sadly, Williams having a nightmare start. It's gone wrong for them already. But Overwatch will be delighted. He's got Born Winner in touch with him though. Then it's Ben on the medium tyres. Shortbread also on the medium tyres. The only other driver in the top 10 on the mediums is Jolt, so these three are ones to watch later on in the race. Natty G's there following the crew. Everybody pretty much within a second of one another up until you get to 14th with Shari. So this is going to be a train of cars running towards the start-finish straight for lap 2. But good opening gambit for Overwatch. He's got his foot down, actually. He's really pulling away. And Born Winners under pressure from Ben Roberts here. Ben's on the inside at the final corner. He's going to go through, it looks like. Can he brake a little bit later just to secure that move into turn one? He does, and Born Winner drops from first to third in the lap, so he won't be pleased. And Overwatch will be thinking to himself, perfect start. He just needs to try and drop Ben from DRS if he can. And that is going to be a challenge. The steps is outside of a second. That's the first gap in the field. That's a huge, this is important. Steps has to get back in that DRS range. If he loses it, it's very hard to get back in touch with everybody else. But good start so far for everybody. There's Jan in the pits. He's gone for the hard tyres. He's going to have to, thanks to his broken front wing. And Denmark carrying on as well, but he's distanced at the back of the field. Sadly, he's about 4.5 seconds behind. Now, can Overwatch break that 1 second barrier over Ben Roberts? Oh, Ben just clamping the curb. He'll lose a little bit of time, and Born Winner identifies that. Overwatch, though, is a second clear. He's using his battery as best as he can. Everybody else all very close together. Josh looking to try and overtake Diego if he can. Diego having a great run, though, so far. But the thing is that Josh is going to have to try and brake later now on the inside at turn 13. He brakes very late, but that's a nice move. And the Ferrari is up to 10th, but he just clipped the wall. And Diego, sensing that, is going to try and move alongside him. The Haas trying to go on through. Overwatch sets a new fastest lap, but these two are side by side. On the brakes into turn one. Josh is going to go around the outside and go through, and that's a nice move. Shuts the door on Diego. Now DRS is active here. And speaking of DRS, Born Winner goes through. He overtakes Ben Roberts for second place. There's loads of action all over track. This is where the overtakes will start to happen now. And Diego goes back through on Josh. And those two fighting are going to drop Josh away from the fight if he's not careful. Ah, this is they're still side by side, these two. There's a lot of action, but Diego and Josh are providing a lot of entertainment on circuit. Really good fighting. Now, Born Winner's within a second of Overwatch. We're following the Haas and the Ferrari, but that is important. Overwatch is trying to break the gap, but he's not going to do it. And as hard as he tried, Born Winner's within that range. Here comes Josh then. Trying to swing left, trying to swing right. But he'll have DRS this time around, and he should just breeze on by the Haas, which he does do. And he's up a place. Jolt goes past Dino, and Born Winner goes past Overwatch for the race lead. I thought Overwatch was far enough clear of Born Winner. I wasn't watching it at the front, but he has got past the Mercedes. But Overwatch is not one to give up. Look at this, he's on the inside. He just tucks in for now. Oh, born winner. Just had a snap on the brakes. Overwatch goes back through. Ben tries to take advantage. He couldn't capitalise. So the tables turn again. Piero in the pits. Not sure if that's because, yeah, it is for a front wing change. So Piero's got damage. But here we go. Here's the train of cars. The top 7 all pretty much within a second of one another. Nassi and Steps need to just keep up with them. And Jolt's trying to fight his way back into that group. If he's going to do it, he's got to try and do it now. He's got Dino with him. They might be able to work together, actually, if they're clever about it. But this is very, very tight for everybody currently. The Born Winner looks very quick, though, tonight. Very fast indeed. And he's under the rear wing of Overwatch. He's using a bit of battery to try and stay clear. Not just of Born Winner, but Ben Roberts too. DRS wide open. Here comes the Aston Martin. That's an overtake done before we get to the turn 13. And oh, look at the speed of Ben Roberts' car. It's set up for the straight lines. And Ben goes through and Overwatch got it wrong. He got it all kinds of wrong. And there's an absolute mess going on behind all of that, and unfortunately it's dropped Natty G out of DRS race. Overwatch just got it wrong on the brakes, flew into the back of Ben. Ben carried on. Overwatch drops down to 7th. He'll be kicking himself with that mistake. Oh dear, oh dear. So the top 4 have themselves a little gap to Natty G. He's going to have to put his hammer down and get back in that DRS range. We were so close together. Oh, Psycho's gone round. He's lost it. Oh, and it went wrong for him at Jeddah. It's gone wrong for him again. And Psycho was right in the thick of the action, but now he's out of the top 4. That's a shame. And that's just going to get... And Born Winner's actually got away from Ben Roberts here. So the gap all on this lap is all kicked off on lap 4, lap 5, where the gaps have now just appeared. The top 3 are 2 seconds clear of Natty G. He's got the Steps with him. Jolt is desperately trying to get it into DRS range, and he's just about doing that. So from third, the top 3 are together, then the 4th through to 9th are within DRS range. Then Diego's got the next group behind him. There's just groups all over the track at the minute. But Born Winner, I think, made a little mistake then, because Ben Roberts is now right back with him. I was just watching the Steps in the McLaren. He's going to go past Natty G. Not much he could do about that. And the McLaren goes through. Ben Roberts is on the inside of Born Winner at turn 13. He moves in to the lead of the race. So we've got a McLaren at the front of the first group and a McLaren at the front of the second group. That's where we stand. This has been great action all over. And Dino's got a... Oh, Dino's picked up a time penalty. On those soft tyres, there wasn't a front wing change either. He was trying to undercut everyone, which is a good strategy to have around here because of how the tyres work. But unfortunately, penalty is just going to ruin all of that hard work that he just did with that strategy. So the top 3, 2 of them on the medium tyres, 1 of them on the softs. And, oh, Ben, wow, that was a huge snap of oversteer through the corner. He saved it, but my goodness. This is a man who's hunting a championship. He desperately wants it. So does Born Winner. And I imagine Shortbread's just delighted to be in the fight at the minute. Wants to get himself back in the championship hunt, does Shortbread. So you got 2 groups of 3. You got the front 3, then the next 3 from 4th to 6th. Overwatch is not quite within the RS range. I think he's just lost it, actually. But Born Winner is going to breeze on by the McLaren, and into the lead the race he goes. Shortbread is going to close the gap right the way down, but he won't be close enough. And the Steps moves back past Natty G for 4th as we were watching that. And Josh goes past Overwatch. So those 2 are also trying to catch on to that group. There's loads of little fights going on all over the circuit. Just got to be mindful of that as Wiggly Style gets in the... And that's Overwatch in the pits. So this is the first of the front runners who were looking. Yellow flag out. I'm just looking. Yeah, Joss has hit the wall as well. One of our former champions has found the wall at turn 2. He's going to be very quick in the straights, but so slow around these corners. He's got Diego hounding him through the middle sector. These three are working in unison. They're 4.5 seconds clear of Natty G now. And Born Winner, whilst he's at the front, here comes Ben Roberts with the DRS wide open. It's a move done for him. Shortbread is just going to stick with Roberts, and Born Winner happy to take over first place from one another. And Shortbread is just minding his own business in third, running to his pace. And the steps is going into the pits. So that is a pit stop for the McLaren. He'll go onto the Oh, and Psycho's gone round as well at the penultimate corner. It's just gone from bad to worse this race for Psycho. He's going to go in the pits and get rid of those soft tyres. Joss in the pits as well to change his front wing. So what can Steps do? He's got new medium tyres on. Just looking, where's Overwatch in relation to this? He's going to come out. He gets up there too. We're watching the fight though. Everyone else is rather watching the fight for third position. I'm just looking at the gap between Overwatch and the Steps. It's about a second, but the Steps is only 22.5 seconds behind Ben Rob. Shortly with those soft tyres, and I imagine drop Shortbread, but he managed to get DRS somehow. Born Winner retakes the lead of the Grand Prix. And Psycho's got a penalty. That's quite a big corner cut penalty. He must have done something pretty wrong for Psycho, but this race isn't going well for him. Now, Born Winner in the pits. One of the race leaders on the soft tyres. He's going to take those mediums all the way to the end of the race. And the Steps was 22 seconds behind, so the Steps is going to come out about a second or two behind, I think. Natty G in the pits as well. Oh, Aston Martin, have they timed that well for the double stack? I think they have. Just about, yeah, well done to Aston Martin. Double than I thought compared to... So Born Winner comfortably in clear air. So Shortbread and Ben Roberts, they'll want to work together now. They've got a few more laps left on these medium tyres. And they want to just try and stay clear of Born Winner. But the problem is Born Winner's tyres are going to be so fresh at this point. They're going to make a big difference, and they'll have to work together when they go on the soft tyres later if they pit at the same time. Having said that, Ben Roberts might not need any help. He's still quite clear of Shortbread, who's going to close that gap right the way down before we get to the end of the straight, but he's not going to try and move past him. Jolt's in third on his own, as is Born Winner. Shari in fifth place is going to be joined by Overwatch. He's going to just breeze on by, you'd imagine. Yeah, there. So Ben Robert, who is probably going to come out in front of the McLaren. I'd be shocked if he didn't. Here comes Born Winner past the pit straight. There he goes into turn 1. and he's quite comfortably clear. But Ben now has the soft tyres. Have to get the shortbread there, still out there, yet to pit. Born Winner has the lead of the race. The net lead, that is. So the race just starting to take shape here in Vegas. And this could go any way, realistically. All 18 cars still running. And when will Shortbread decide to pit? Which is a very big question, to be honest. He's out there on his own up front, 10, 11 seconds clear. And the other thing is if Jolt carries on for another further away from Ben Roberts and from Shortbread for that matter, who carries on for another lap? So Shortbread doing something different. Let's see if that strategy pays off for him. And Jolt does carry on. So Born Winner is going to get a nice helping of DRS here. Loads of other fights going on. Diego's just gone past Wiggly Style for 12th. Both of them just Ferrari of Joss. Speaking of Ferraris, the other one is in the pits. And Born Winner has gone past Jolt before we get to turn 5, so he'll be happy with that one. Because the tyre differentials will be a factor. Ben Roberts has also got within DRS of Jolt. This is good timing from Ben, actually. Because he's going to get a lovely slipstream from Jolt off of turn 10 and 11. Here he is. He won't need to use any battery at all, but he decides to. And then uses the DRS to go fling that wide open, and he's going to get within DRS range of Born Winner as well, thanks to this slingshot. So this has worked for Ben. It was a nice strategy decision to go to the soft tyres now. And that's a new fastest lap for Ben Roberts, not surprising. And I think Shortbread's going to be vulnerable to step. Yeah, he's going to lose spots to everybody behind him. So Shortbread only pitted 2 laps after. But that's how much time he's lost. And he's going to be in the thick of the fight for 3rd. So it's 2 McLarens on the podium, 2 Mercedes for 4th and 5th. But having said that, here comes Overwatch. And he moves into 3rd position. Steps. Have I round. But unfortunately, the Red Bull has dropped to 7th and out of the fight for the podium, which he was comfortably in. Now, I think Shortbread's strategy. Actually, let's cut back. Let's focus our attention back to the front, because Ben Roberts is going to take the lead of the race. DRS wide open for the McLaren. There he goes, breezes on through, and he's in the lead. And this is tactically going to be fascinating to see how everybody else gets on. Now, Shortbread is in 3rd place. The Steps is trying to go through. They've both got DRS. There's a car around, I think it's JMB Surreal. But Shortbread has got 3rd place, and he now needs to use the soft tyres to pull away from the Steps. If he can get away, he'll comfortably finish 3rd. And maybe that was Shortbread's target all along. Maybe he was thinking about trying to secure the podium more than the race win. We shall see if that happens. His tyres are going to be so good compared to the cars in front of him and behind him, though. Natty G running in 6th place. He's not too far away from the steps in Overwatch. There's the recovering Dino after his... Oh, and as I say that, he's hit the wall. Well, Dino spun. I don't think that's going to cause a safety car. But I was just watching the Red Bull lose the back end, and he's dropping far, far down the order. Ah, that is a shame. Now, there's a huge fight going on, by the way, elsewhere around the track. Denmark, Shari, Wiggly Style are all together. We've got Overwatch not far behind the steps, but at the front it's Ben Roberts and Born Winner. And Ben nearly broke the 1 second gap on Born Winner there. And you feel that if Ben Roberts can break the DRS, maybe not on this lap, but the next one, you'd feel he's scot-free away from the Aston Martin, but he's a canny racer. He's not a championship leader for nothing, is Born Winner. That's why he's right there in the fight. Following the Ferrari of Shari behind Denmark. He's on the soft tyres. Shari's on for some points here. If he can play this tactically right, he should be fine to go past Denmark. That's not a problem. I don't think Denmark's going to have much to fight him with on those hard tyres. So he moves up to 11th, goes the Ferrari driver. Lap 14, 5 to go, including the one that we're on. It's been a flat-out race so far, no problems, which is great to see. That's what we want to see from Gavra racing. And Shari within DRS of Psycho. What a story that is. Diego running in the top 10. Really pleased Diego's running in the top 10 as well. It's good to see loads of improvements from drivers. There's Dino's in the pits actually. Sadly for the Red Bull, it's just not gone right for him today, and the Manufacturers' Championship's going to fall away from those in the Red Bull camp at Milton Keynes. Despite Ben's efforts, he still can't get away from Paul Winner. He's almost there, but it's not quite enough, and they're going to be coming across Jan in a moment, who's had a few struggles tonight. But he's running, that's the main thing. And Natty G has overtaken Overwatch for 5th place. Admittedly, Natty does have the DRS. Still watching the fight at the front though. And Overwatch just behind Natty G. So Natty's showing some good pace. Whether he can recover to 4th place remains to be seen. Natty could have been one of the big winners earlier in that contact, but it just didn't play out the way he wanted it to. And that's Born Winner in the lead of the race. Into turn 5, he had DRS, he was close enough to the back of Ben. And now the tactics will commence. Lap 15, the 7.5 seconds clear of Shortbread. And I'm sure, oh, Overwatch, he's binned it at turn 5, and that's a safety car. Now then. Well, this has completely changed the dynamic of the race. There is no more DRS at all. And all the drivers behind will be thinking, maybe I can get a new set of soft tyres on. Because that would be the right thing to do. I imagine the whole grid is going to come in for softs. You can already see Fenny Sarose, JMB Surreal there doing it. Putting new tyres on, but Overwatch just put it in the wall at turn 5. Nightmare for him. And Overwatch leaves the session. Gav, you might want to invite him back in for race 2. But, wow. We will have safety car. I think we're going to have a 1-lap dash, aren't we, to the flag? How timely was that? Now, Born Winner stays out. Ben Roberts stays out. I think the right strategy is to pit for softs, personally, but that is me. I'm only a commentator. Shortbread stays out. As does the steps. Natty G decides to gamble. Now, he's only going to lose a spot to Jolt, I think. I think he's far enough clear of Just for it to not be a problem. And Jolt's coming in too. And I think that's the right call. I think I think Shortbread will be okay. He's only got 4-lap-old soft tyres on, but Natty G takes the gamble. New soft tyres. He's going to be so quick on the final lap of the race. He might just get past the steps. He's on 8-lap-old medium tyres. Who else is not pitted? Psycho decides to roll the dice. Diego does too. Jolt gets in for a set of soft. Sharry's up to 9th. Wiggly starts in 10th. Josh is going to come out in 11th, I think. Denmark putting a new set of soft on. Makes sense. He was on the hards. He's not going to lose any places by doing that. But we might have a 1-lap shootout here to the flag. It'd be even more if it was 2 laps to the end. Natty will be certainly feeling like he's in the best position of anyone. Well, take a breath, ladies and gentlemen. We are on lap 16. Safety car thanks to Overwatch hitting the wall at turn 5 and crashing out of the Grand Prix. And this last lap has got the potential to be absolutely chaotic. We shall see how everybody does. And the safety car's in this lap. Wow, so Natty G has caught the safety car. I don't know. I think everybody else could do. In fact, they've come to a stop at the final corner. Psycho catches the safety car crew. I'm following Ben Roberts. I'm looking at the indicator at the back. I'm just trying to see if who else is going to catch up. I think Josh is going to miss out. But Born Winner has gone. Here we go then, the penultimate lap of the race. Shortbread running in 3rd position. Jan gets just right out of the way. He doesn't want to be anywhere near that. But Natty G must be thinking this is a glorious chance for him. The front 3 trying to escape at the moment. No DRS, remember, for the rest of the race. There's only 2 laps to go. The steps is already a second back. Natty G, if he wants to make a move, he's got to do it at this corner. He can't do it. But then the steps, I think Jan's kind of getting in the way, to be honest. Jan needs to move. And the steps is trying to hang up. What is Jan is a lapped car. He needs to get out of the way. Oh, what a move this could be from. Oh, but and Natty G clips the wall. And Psycho goes through. And that was just a bit of over-exuberance. And sadly, Natty's chance of a top 3 finish is gone. But the front 3, once again, have pulled away. And Shortbread has the freshest tyres of these guys. But he's just got it wrong at the final corner before the straight. Turn 11. He's going to need to burn a bit of battery to keep on the back of them. And I tell you what, Ben's been caught napping here. Because here comes Shortbread, trying to use a little bit of battery, but he doesn't have the slipstream that Ben Roberts does have as they approach turn 13. But then again, he's on the inside line. Oh, and Shortbread just gets it wrong. He just got launched over the curb. And he might just be a little bit too far back. We're going to go on to the final lap of the race. It's Born Winner leading from Ben Roberts. Then it's Shortbread. Fair play to the steps. He's still in 4th. Psycho's there in 5th. Natty's back in front, but there's a Williams in the way. And the rules have been told to everybody. Josh sets a new fastest lap without DRS. That's impressive from Josh. But this is it. This is the fight. The front 3. It's all about them now. Where will this race victory go? There's so much going on in these last few laps. It's been a lot of drama, and this is the final lap of the race. Can Ben or Shortbread get past Born Winner, whose medium tyres won't allow him to extend the gap? He's kind of in the wrong place, to be honest. You feel he's going to be vulnerable. Who's going to get the battery levels right? Who's going to tactically play this correctly? And Ben Roberts just needs to stay glued to that gearbox. There's a yellow flag out there. Dino's in the wall. Now Shortbread went a bit too deep. This is it then. This is going to be a battle between Ben and Born Winner. It's going to be who runs out of battery first, realistically. And I think it's going to be Born Winner who's going to start running out of battery, because Ben Roberts is alongside him as they approach turn 13. Ben Roberts has got his nose in front. It's more than that. He's completely clear into turn 13. He's got through. It all matters on the exit now. It all depends on how they do out of this final corner, but Ben is so far clear. What about Shortbread? He might have a chance here at second place. Ben Roberts is going to take the victory. Well done to him. Can Shortbread get there? Yes, he can. On the line. Ben Roberts wins it from Shortbread. Born winner in third. Jolt snatches fourth at the end. Steps down to fifth. Natty in sixth. Diego for seventh. What a result for him. Psycho, Shari and Wiggly Star your top 10, and Joss didn't get a point. He'll be annoyed with that one. In fact, there's a McLaren further up. The steps has got no front wing. I wonder what's happened there. There seems to be all sorts of chaos there. Jolt ended up fourth. I don't know what's happened, but Ben Roberts, the right place at the right time. He'll be delighted, as will Shortbread. He'll be very chuffed with his result there. Just all about managing the battery. Driver of the day going to Shari, and that's well deserved. But it all came down to being in the right place at the right time, and that's exactly where Ben was. Celebrating up on the podium. Shortbread snatching second there right at the end from Born Winner. He'll be a bit annoyed to go from first to third in 4 corners, but that's just how it goes sometimes. The McLaren team celebrating. So there's our classifications from the first race of the evening. It's Ben Roberts who takes the victory, Shortbread second, and Born Winner in third. The top 3 separated by less than a second. Jolt in fourth with the steps in 5th place. Natty G in 6th with Diego getting his best, I think that's his best ever finish in Gavra for Diego. In 7th place was Psycho, Shari and Wiggly Style rounding out the top 10. Joss, the first of the non-point scorers, in 11th with Denmark, Fenix Rose, JMB Surreal, Jan, Piero, all finishing in the end, as did Dino, but 2 laps down. Overwatch was the man who brought out the safety car to set up that grandstand finish. I was going to say, Steps, what happened with the no front wing as you came over the finish line? Did you hit the wall? Steps saying it was literally in front of the finish line. Ah, okay. We didn't catch it because it was a grandstand finish for the race victory. Let's have a look at what the Discord chat is saying. So a lot of action in the chat there. We're just waiting for everybody to get the right car. And we are about to go live once again for the second race of the evening here at Gavra. It's just a big thank you to 3dPrinting4u for sponsoring us here at Gavra. Great to have them on board. And if you fancy some artwork and some scenery of your favourite tracks and circuits, then you can get that wood block printed for yourselves and stick it up in your room somewhere, in your house, wherever it might be, your flat, whatever you might own. Nice bit of craftsmanship. And maybe if you're a big fan of the Vegas track, you could go and have a look and see if you could get one of those. Don't know how many people love Vegas, or if anybody does for that matter. Not that I'm judging, but if they do, you can get one of those printed. But we're moments away from the one-shot qualifying session that we have for the second race of the night. And if anybody, those that are watching, please do comment who you think is going to take pole position around here at Vegas. Denmark needs to make sure he uses his own setup, which is very true, he does. And if you're also commenting, oh, Ben's saying a wet race, wow. Well, how much of a difference will that make to the setups? Because obviously Vegas, very high-speed circuit. Will anybody... I can't imagine there's enough time really to change setups, to be honest. And we go live for our one-shot qualifying, but a wet race, here we go. Well, this is going to be fascinating to see how everybody gets on. One-shot qualifying, money game saying born winner is going to be the winner. Let's see if that ends up happening. Everybody fighting over the first couple of corners. I'm not going to bother commentating on that until we get to the end of the first sector. Apparently JMB Surreal's crashed though. Oh, he's out. He's going to be starting from the back of the grid. Two Aston Martins up front. Don't forget Natty was looking quite quick, but that ghosted back marker sadly just gone in the way for him. Got another corner to go before we hit the first sector beam. And it looks like the Ferrari of Joss is currently in the lead. So Joss aiming to fight back, our former Tier 1 champion, don't forget. He's trying to strike back as best as he can. Ben Roberts moves himself forward now, and then we get into the DRS range. This is where the rear wing flap opens wide, 20 mile an hour gained around this circuit. And Joss is still in the lead as we approach the second timing beam. He goes through in first place, but it's all about this heavy braking zone into turn 13. Got to get the line right through here. Oh, I tell you who has got it right. I think Born Winner. And Joss drops to third. And I think Born Winner looks like he's going to get pole. It's going to be very close with him and Ben. Oh, how close is that? It is Born Winner who takes pole position. Delightful result. Another pole position for the Swede. He's 500ths clear of Ben. Joss, who led for most of the way, ends up third. Jolt is fourth. Psycho, Shortbread and Natty G are 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th respectively. Dino and the Steps, the only drivers left who actually finished within a second of Born Winner. Then rounding out the top 10 is Denmark, Piero, Diego, Shari, Wiggly Style and Jan, all set in a lap time. JMB Surreal, didn't. He retired, and Fenice Rose, I think, was victim of track limits, so he starts from the back. Ben saying, awful lap. Awful lap, Ben, got you second on the grid. I'm sure anybody who qualified last would be happy with an awful lap that put them second. That is a big gap. I was going to say Shortbread's just touched on what I was going to say. The top 9 within 7/10 of the pole position lap. Everybody else outside of that's a big gap. But we've got a wet race here in Vegas. Look at this. Now, I have never seen a wet race around Vegas before. Now, with it being a 25%, we can't imagine there's going to be any pit stops. But Vegas in the dry is difficult enough as it is. I'm very excited to see, and I'm part of, I've seen different racing communities do Vegas all in the dry. This is the first time I've seen it in the rain, so I'm really keen to see how drivers navigate turn 5 especially. Every corner on this track, it's a complete unknown. So intermediate tyres on then, and it's the McLaren on the right and the Aston Martin on the left. Who will make the best start here in Vegas? And the race is live. Here we go. It looks like a good start from the front row. And it looks like Psycho, well, it says Psycho's in the lead. It looks like everybody's ghosting into turn 1. Looks like a bit of a problem. It is Ben Roberts in the lead. Oh, there's contact at the back. There's a huge accident at the start. The Steps is involved. Diego's involved in that, I think. Wiggly Style's gone backwards, so there's been chaos at the start. Now, it is Ben Roberts in the lead. It's not Psycho. He is up to second, I think. There's a few issues going on with the timing tower, but Ben will lead them through. Psycho's in second place. Jolt's in third, so I don't know why the timing screen's a little bit wrong. There's a yellow flag back there. There's still cars ghosting all over the place. Not sure quite what's gone on. But it is Ben Roberts who leads. The timing tower's wrong. It looks completely wrong. Not sure what's going on there, but we'll just have to manage it. Hopefully, won't cause any issues. Born Winner is out. Born Winner's out. He's... Wow. I didn't quite see what happened. Well, a nightmare start for our championship leader. He's out of the Grand Prix. I don't know what's gone on to him, but he's out of the race. So it's Ben Roberts who's at the front of the queue. Psycho's second, Jolt's third, Shortbread's fourth, Josh is in the top 5, Natty G and Dino. Jan's up to 8th. Someone take a picture. Jan's in the top 10, and comfortably so. He's 3 seconds clear of the Steps. He's alongside Shari into turn 13. Piero saying the Haas needs to be banned. I wonder what's gone on there. Jolt's gone. Now, is there a glitch in the lot? Yeah, I think everybody's going. I think everybody's leaving. I think something's gone on. I think that's why Born Winner left. I think something's gone on there. I'm not quite sure, but I'm fairly certain that we're going to have a restart. Yeah, and that is the case. So we got excited for a moment, but the lobby glitched. Yeah. So for those that are there's still a lot of drivers out there who are still out on circuit for whatever reason. But we will have a restart. We will have light rain for the whole session so that we've got the intermediate compounds on. In more weird F1 glitchiness, Natty G is was in front of the safety car. So we do have a restart. we shall wait to see how things play out. We will get a complete reset, of course, as well on the grid. It'll go back to the qualifying order that they started in. So we do apologise, of course, the technical difficulties. The difficulties are outside of our control. There's not really much that we can do regarding that, unfortunately. We will get rain again, of course. And there is a new lobby that has started, which is delightful. So we do have a new lobby now. It's a case of trying to get everybody in the right grid positions. So we're just trying to get the grid set up as best as we can. Now, fortunately, we do have the top 14 that we've got classified here. Just trying to recall who started 15th, 16th, and 18th. Very difficult trying to get everything set up as best we can. I want to say that Jan might have been 18th potentially. think Feni Sarose was 16th. It looks like we've got a potential grid order now. So it looks like we are ready to go racing here again at Vegas. We've had a few technical difficulties, but here we are, ready for a restart. Fingers crossed the lobby will be okay. I do thank everybody for your patience for the technical difficulties that we have had tonight. But sometimes these things happen. So we'll be back to Vegas for the rain. And I'm very curious to see how the drivers get on in the wet weather around here. Like I said before, I've never seen it around the strip before, but we will have it this time. And I do hope that this promotes as much chaos as it possibly can. Because I just have a feeling that this track is going to promote so many opportunities for people to make mistakes, unforced errors around here. Corners are now going to become even more difficult to navigate. Like turns 6 and 7 is a very difficult long left-hander to spot your breaker zone. The driver's going to have to be wary of that. Turn 8 going into the hairpin, getting the exit right. Braking for turn 10 and 11, that's a long cambered corner. That'll be difficult. Turn 13, the penultimate corner. Even turns 1 and 4 are going to be hard to go round because they're long sweeping corners. And we got a 25% race. It's going to be tough. Denmark saying, Jack, stop. No, I don't think I will. I don't think I will. Because I think it's going to come down to driver tenacity. It's going to come down to not being the quickest driver, I think, around here. It's going to be the most alert. It's going to be the one who has a calm right foot on the throttle, or right thumb, if you are, or right fingers, if you're using controller. The right and the left hand, they're going to all be important. So we got the 5 red lights here at Vegas for the second start. Oh, and Bornwinner's got a jump through start penalty. So Bornwinner will be clear into turn 1, but he's going to have to serve his drive through. Everyone else scrambling for grip, but look at the start for Jolts. He's on the inside at turn 1, and Bornwinner's just pulled off the road and retired. Game over for him. He's out of it. That is such a shame. He shouldn't have done that. He could have carried on. You never know. In these conditions, we could get a safety car, but he's out. And that means Ben Roberts is clear in the lead. Jolt second, Shortbread third, Psycho fourth. We've got a yellow flag, but that's just for Bornwinner's car. As we approach turn 5, I'm going to look back through the field. Oh, there's an Alpine flying through, and that's contact, and that is an Aston Martin of Natty G out. Oh, that is 3-4 cars out of the race. Piero, what were you doing? He's absolutely blundered into the corner and wiped out 2 cars. And that is a safety car already, and Bornwinner, had he have not retired, would have been at the back of the field. That was dreadful. I was watching further back because I knew someone was going to get it wrong. And Piero was the one who did that. Denmark saying, what the heck was that? And I completely understand Denmark. Jan's out as well as a result. Both Williams and Aston Martins are out of the race. Oh, that is so frustrating. That was a complete mess up into that corner. Oh dear, there's going to be some choice words said about that one. Shock horror. We have lost Born Winner. We've lost Natty G before we got to turn 6. We lost Denmark in the incident as well. Jan was out too. Well. Yeah, and Denmark saying the same corner every race. It happened to him in Tier 2 as well. Oh, I feel sorry for everyone who was caught up in that incident. It was just a case of Piero got the braking wrong and flew into the back of a few cars, and sadly everyone involved is out. And yes, Gav saying the right thing on that one. Looking forward to being part of the steward's inquiry for that. I had a very good view of it. So, whilst we just take stock of what's happened and the volunteers here in Vegas try and look after and repair the barrier, we have Ben Roberts in the lead of this race, who will be thinking his championship challenge is back on. His main rivals, who were in front of him going into tonight, in terms of TGT Chris and Born Winner, not scoring points. So he could be on for a slam dunk of 50 points if he can keep on it. But he's got Jolt Shortbread with him, who's having a good race. Jolt had a laboured race 1, but he's looked quick tonight. He's just been in the wrong place at the wrong time as the AlphaTauri. Shortbread in 3rd, Psycho 4th, Joss up to 5th. Let's have a look at the start. Let's just have a quick scan through. Because if we look at the position changes, you know, Shortbread up 3 places, Joss down 2, not ideal for him. Steps up 3, Diego up 4, Haas drivers making up a huge amount of time. Fenny Sarose up 8 places. J&B Surreal in 11th, he's up 5 places as well from the back of the grid. Now, what I'm hoping is that my point of view from what I've just seen was correct in terms of what's gone on there. I'm fairly certain it was Piero who flew into the back of everybody. That's caused this safety car, unfortunately. But he has rejoined. He's also got a new front wing on, and he's serving his time penalty for ignoring yellow flags. And he gets a new front wing on and carries on. I imagine he's going to be in for a hefty penalty. It does look like he's locked up and he's just skated off the road, to be frank. It's an accident that can catch anybody out, especially in these conditions, but there we are. Dino's just said that he's forgot a setup, although to be honest, Dino, I don't think that's the worst thing around here. Born Winner saying he was putting his drink down and then putting his clutch in, and then he rage quitted. And if that's the thing, if he hadn't have done that, he'd be there. Oh dear. And Natty saying there goes the constructor's advantage. Yeah, well, that's the That's the problem that Aston Martin now faces, because both McLarens are in the top 6. And one of them is leading the field. I feel that this race has got a lot more to offer. We've had most of it under safety car. And it is now in this lap. So I do hope that we're right on board with Jolts, because he is right behind Ben, and we'll get the chance to see when he goes off. Shari has overtaken JMB Surreal, which has caused a whole load of chaos. At the back of the field, they've actually lost the DRS train. I don't know what's gone on there. The DRS train, the safety car train. Now, we've already gone. So Ben Roberts up through the field. He's going to be clear, but Shortbread was all over the back end, and Joss has gone into the pits. I don't know why. More carnage already at the start of this race. So Ben Roberts leads the way. Jolt's in second, Shortbread's third. Dino's got past the steps for 5th place. Diego, the two Hasses running in the top 8. Gene Haas is going to be delighted. Gunther Steiner is going to be practically embalming himself in gold, and that's another car out. Shortbread's in the wall, and it's another safety car. Oh my goodness, the Mercedes has planted it at turn 5. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? Oh, Shortbread got it all wrong, and he just flew it at speed into the wall. And are we going to get a full racing lap at Vegas? That is the true question. I mean, we're down to 12 cars. We've got 5 out. We're almost in a position where if everybody finishes, they're going to score points. I'm almost exasperated by what's just happened. I cannot believe that Shortbread has just sailed off into the wall. Of all the drivers on the grid, the one driver you'd expect in these conditions to keep it out of the wall after Ben Roberts is Shortbread. The former champion is out of the Grand Prix. We've got 2 former champs out. That's Shortbread and Natty G. We've got the championship leader out of the Grand Prix. We've got both Williamses out of the race as well. I do hope that the safety car comes in at the end of this lap. I just hope that Joss, who's decided to put a new set of intermediate tyres on, which I don't think is a bad idea, actually. I think being on new, fresh intermediates is actually a benefit. I know that the other cars haven't really put much tyre life into them, but that's still a good place to be in. Piero and JMB Surreal getting new front wings, so they've just come in. I think JMB Surreal's going to get overtaken by Joss here, actually. And that is the case. So let's hope that these 3 can catch the safety car train. And Gav, you're saying what I said at the start of the race. You know, I was saying that the drivers in the intermediate conditions, those that drive safely, might be a little bit slower. It's not about having the pace around here tonight. It's about being the most comfortable with the braking zones, with the traction areas, not breaking your front wing. That's where we're at right now. So we now have 2 McLarens in the top 5, thanks to Shortbread's retirement. Diego is running in 6th place. I mean, this is incredible. Shari's in 7th. You've got drivers who are not usually this high up in the field, right in the thick of the action. You never know that one of them could get a podium or even a race win. This is how daft this race could end up being. I think JMB Surreal's going to miss the safety car train, isn't he? I don't think the safety car is going to come in this lap. JMB Surreal didn't quite catch up to it. I'd be shocked. I would be really shocked if it let go now. He has caught the train, but I think it's past the safety car line when he caught up. Yeah, there we go. So we're going for another lap. So we'll be going racing at the end of lap 6. The worst thing about Shortbird's incident was not even just the fact that he nosedived it. He was also saying that the safety car had been out for too long. Pierre is back in the pits again. I don't know what's going on with the Alpine. I think he's had about 5 pit stops tonight. It feels like he's got a brand new front wing going on his Alpine. And he's had 2 pit stops as Piero, as it turns out. Feels like he's been in the pits tons. So we have 12 cars left on circuit. We have Ben Roberts, Jolt and Psycho in your top 3. You got the Dino and Steps. You got Diego in 6th place, Shari in 7th, Fenny Sarose in 8th, which is incredible to see those 3 so high up. Wiggly Style in 9th, Joss is in the top 10. JB Surreal is 11th, and Piero, who will catch the safety car but nearly hit the wall at turn 5, he is going to be in 12th place with brand new fresh set of intermediates on. And I do hope that when we get the announcement the safety car comes in, that Jolt decides to, well, we get Gav to follow Jolt on board with him so that we can see when Ben decides to launch. So we wait and see. We'll have lap 7, we'll get underway, and if all goes to plan, which typically it should, we should have 7 full racing laps. Being frankly honest, I don't think we will. I think there's a chance for another safety car, judging by what we've seen so far. Everybody weaving the tyres, trying to keep them warm, which is not the right thing to do in intermediate conditions. You want to try and keep them as cool as you can, but the safety car's in this lap. And we wait and see what goes on, as Dino nearly overtook Psycho then. That would have been problematic. And everybody nearly losing the back end in these conditions. Now Jolt cannot go alongside Ben. He's right along the side of him. And Ben's gone. And Ben's timed that really nicely, actually. Jolt was so close to the back of him, it didn't work out. So we come towards turn 1 for the 7th time of asking. There's someone in the wall, that's a Haas. Shari's going to go to the inside. Shari's going for a few places and gets it wrong, and he pushes one of the McLarens. I think it's the Steps who's gone all the way out of the side of this track. Absolute carnage further back. Diego's up to 4th. My goodness, have you ever seen anything like it in this race? The Haas of Fenny Sarosi's putting pressure on Dino. As some drivers up here, you'd never see this high up. It's absolutely fabulous to watch. But Ben leads into turn 5, the most horrible corner so far, and Wiggly Style hits the wall, and that causes Joss to have a broken front wing, I think. Wiggly Style's gone into the wall. I think he's got damage. I'm not quite certain. There's absolute carnage going on all around the track, but Ben Roberts is a second and a bit clear from Psycho, who's got past Jolt. Diego's in 4th. Fenny Sarosi's putting the pressure on Dino. This is how chaotic it is. Shari's still in 7th. The Steps is 8th. Weekly Style's 9th. Joss, I think, did get damage. I could be wrong. There's another front wing end plate gone. Someone's got more damage. Piero's in 11th. JB Surreal's in 12th. Oh, I cannot keep up with all this at the moment. Dino goes past Diego for 4th. That's a change of position. These guys are now 2 seconds behind the front 3, who were kind of distancing themselves. The 2 Hasses run 5th and 6th. The Steps, though, wants to get past Shari. And he's not quite close enough into turn 13. Although Shari runs very deep and then picks up a time. I wonder if Shari's got damage. I'm just looking at the front of his car. He's picked up a warning there. I'm trying to see his front end plate. Yes, and he's going into the pits. So Shari, sadly, he was up there. He's no longer there. He's down and out of the points. So it's Wiggly Style in 8th place, Joss in 9th, Piero's in the top 10, JB Surreal's in 11th. Don't forget, there's no DRS in this race because we're in intermediate conditions and it will not get any drier. Dino will be so happy running in 4th place. The front 3 currently quite clear of everybody else. They don't have to worry about that, but Ben typically shines in intermediate conditions. Wet weather he's very good in. And he now just has to keep it on the road. He's got Psycho following him. That race isn't over yet. Jolt in third, Dino fourth. The two Hasses in fifth and sixth. I've got a smile on my face actually seeing those two that high up. The Steps is there in seventh place. Joss is eighth. Wiggly Style and Piero. This is quite close actually between these guys outside of the top six. They're all quite tightly bunched together. But the driver's just starting to explore the conditions. In the next few laps, you start to see drivers make mistakes because they're trying to push the boundaries of the car. And that includes the Steps. He wants to get on with this. He wants to try and get past Fenny Sarosi. He's not far away from him. He's going to have to do this the old-fashioned way with the slipstream. And he's got quite a lot of slipstream. He's going to breeze on past Fenny. And up to sixth goes the Steps. Got to get his braking right. And he does that quite nicely. JMB Surreal gets past Piero for 10th place as well. Gaps at the front are extending though. Oh, Piero's getting a little bit sideways out of the penultimate corner. I think the two Haas cars are going to be under pressure though now from everybody further back. Steps is looking quick, and that's Joss running a bit deep. Off the road almost. Well, he was off the road actually, and he loses a bit of time. These intermediate conditions here at Vegas are just catching everybody unawares. This is a venture into the unknown for the drivers. They've never, probably ever done intermediate wet weather practice around here. And they've all just got to keep it nice and tidy. It's not about speed, it's just about getting the car lined up. The AlphaTauri JMB Surreal having a wiggle on the exit of turn 5. Oh, Pierre! Oh, they're all nearly losing it into the turn 7 and 8 chicane. Wiggly Style is in front of JMB Surreal, but Piero's trying to go through. So we're currently watching really the fight from 5th through to 8th place, because Diego's at the front of the queue, doing a solid job, and the Steps is trying to get past him. Now he's using his battery, trying to stay in front. He's got the slipstream as well. Diego using a bit of the battery too. And Joss is going to go past Fenny for 7th place. And I think that the Steps is going to look at the move at the inside at turn 13, but he doesn't brake late enough. Diego, looks like he's just got a bit more confidence in the braking zone. Oh, Joss gets that wrong. Fenny tries to fight back. It's so great to see these two fighting up through the front. It really is. And I know that some people might be thinking, Jack, why are you focusing on these two? They don't get enough time in the sun. We're normally watching the guys at the front. But they're right there with them, fighting for their lives for Haas. It is a wonderful performance. They've just found themselves in the right position at the right. And we all like an underdog here. At Gavra Racing. It's something that we like to see. And Fenny's really giving Joss a good run for his money. Don't forget, this season, Haas haven't scored a single point, and they're running in 5th and 8th. It's a great story. But the Steps and Joss are no slouches at all. They've both won races in Tier 2 and Tier 1 on drivers who aren't this high up typically. So it's going to be a question of whether these guys can just keep up with them and fend them off. If they can, wait for the right time. Ben Roberts, meanwhile, up front, clear as a whistle. He's 2.7 clear. Joel, oh, he just tapped the wall. He got away with that. Dino's not far away from him. I have to be wary of that one. Now, Diego is going to be under pressure from the Steps. This is looking almost a bit inevitable here, because the Steps is in the slipstream. He's going to use a little bit of battery to blast on through, and the McLaren goes up to 5th place. Joss is trying to follow them as well. But there you go, just backs out of it. He's still on for some good points. Even if Joss goes past them, this is still a great performance. Fenny's just struggling to keep up. He didn't have the slipstream. Slipstream's still really powerful around here, and Joss knows it. Joss is going to look to the inside at the final corner. Oh, do you want to be brave like that? And sure enough, Joss decides to back out of it and take the better of it. 3rd to last lap here in Las Vegas. And we've got a big fight for 5th position. There won't be any safety cars now, so if anybody crashes out, that's that. They're not going to catch... Oh, Steps, huge slide out of turn 5. Keeps it pointing in a straight line. Steps has had a few wobbles through there tonight. But they're all just keeping it checked up. Fenny's just dropped off the back. I think he had a little mistake. And the two Alpines aren't far away from him, so he'd better get ready to get his elbows out to make sure Haas get a double points finish. Steps looks quite confident through the middle sector, but I don't think he's got the traction compared to the cars behind him. But having said that, Diego just making a little mistake. And is Joss really going to try it around the outside? No, who's that out? Someone's gone off the road. Psycho spun it. Psycho has spun it, and Dino sniffs an opportunity at a podium. Ben Roberts is nearly 10 seconds clear now. I just saw the yellow flag come up, and I don't think Psycho's got damage, but oh dear. And here comes Joss for 6th place. This should be move done. It is. Joss goes past the Haas for 6th position. Fenny Sorosi's under pressure now from Wiggly. Oh, there's another yellow flag out there. Ferrari, that's Shari in the wall. Sadly for Shari, his time at the front, as fun as it was, has seen him down in 12th place and break another front wing. But the fight is now going to be not just for 5th place, but also for 3rd, because Psycho, a mistake, an unforced error as well. He was on for 2nd at least. He's now going to have to try and fight Dino off. The Steps is still in 5th place. Joss is in 6th, but Diego is not giving this up at all. And the Haas might sniff an opportunity into turn 5. No, he decides better of it. Slots back in behind the Ferrari. He'll do well to keep up with Joss, because if he can, he might just fancy a sniff at a point later. The two Alpines are closing in on the back. They're like sharks on the back of Fenny. I'm trying to remember the last time Fenny Sorose had points. I'm trying to think if it was another wild madcap race, maybe at Miami, I think is where the other time he scored points before. He doesn't score them often. He's never had an 8th, I'll tell you that much. Now Joss has had a little bit of an error somewhere. He's lost the best part of a second. Oh, Diego, that's deep into turn 11. Oh, and then Joss slides against the wall. He got away with it. And Wiggly has gone through on Fenny. So that's a swap of positions for 8th spot. Fenny's going to be under pressure from Piero. I do think even if Piero does get past Fenny, I think the penalty that's coming Piero's way is going to drop him behind the Haas. But Fenny will want to do it on track. He'll want to stay in front. Psycho's right back with Jolt. We didn't see this. Ben's on the final lap of the race. But Psycho is right with Jolt. Here at the turn 2 and 3, Jolt getting the power down as best as he can, but slithering all over the surface of the wet track. Dino waiting a bit further back. If Dino just buys his time, you never know. These two might crash each other out. It's just one of those races. You never know what might happen. Steps running in 5th place. He's clear of Joss, who's clear of Diego. Fenny Sorose is clear of Piero as well. So, oh dear, this has got a blockbuster finish about it. But who's going to cause a yellow flag? Ben is comfortably clear. He's 13 seconds ahead now. And Psycho, if he gets back in front of Jolt, I don't think he'd be too annoyed at his mistake. But if he does finish 3rd, I think he'd be very disappointed. That right-hander at turn 8 is such a difficult cut. Well, turn 9, such a difficult corner now. Oh, look at the two of them. So they're all over the track surface. It's brilliant to watch. But I think Psycho's going to go through here. Ben is just coming through the last couple of corners now. We're watching Jolt and Psycho as they come towards turn 13. But I tell you what, Jolt's staying in front of him. Going to briefly cut forward. Ben Roberts, well done. 2 wins on the bounce tonight. congratulations to him. What a result and a performance from him. But here comes Psycho. Has he timed it right? Oh, they're all over the circuit, but Psycho's got the battery. Jolt doesn't have it, and Psycho is going to snatch second. At the line, he takes second place. Jolt is third, Dino fourth. The Steps is just going to finish in front of Josh and Diego. Well done, sir. It's seventh place, a best ever finish in Gavra. And the two Haas cars have got a double points finish. And Gunter Steiner will not need to smash anybody's door, because those two have put in an absolutely blockbuster performance. I can't give driver of the day to two people, but actually, no, I am going to. And the Steps has retired from the session. The Steps has finished fifth, by the way. I don't know what's gone on there, but he is fifth place. JB Surreal crashes over the line, and Shari is still halfway round the circuit. Well done to Ben Roberts, do you know what? Ben Roberts has absolutely smashed the result tonight. He was so good in the intermediate conditions. And he's put himself in a brilliant opportunity, given himself a glorious opportunity, as Ben, to take this championship. He's got 2 wins. Born Winner's only scored 18 points today, 15 points today, I should say, because he finished third. He's going to gain 35 points in the championship. This is going to blow it wide open. Benny Sarosa gets driver of the day according to the game. Why not? Well done. That's his best ever finish in Gav. I'm sure he'll be chuffed with that. But Ben Roberts is celebrating on the podium. Psycho snatches second at the line, and Jolt is third. That is your podium finish. Dino ends up in 4th position with Joss in 5th. Well, rather with the Steps in 5th place. Joss is 6th. Diego in 7th place. Wiggly Style in 8th, with Fenny Sarosa in 9th, and Piero will score the last point. We'll see what penalties come his way, though. JB Surreal was 11th, with Shari the last race finisher, and then 5 cars retiring. Shortbread calls in the second safety car. Jan, Denmark, Natty G and Born Winner all caught up in that, well, Natty G, Denmark and Jan caught up in that first lap incident. Born Winner rage quitting after his drive-through penalty, and I bet he wishes he hadn't done that. And thanks to their point scores, if I'm right in saying Haas are going to be, just look at the points, they're going to definitely be clear of, I want to say they're going to be clear of AlphaTauri, but I think Jolt's in the AlphaTauri himself, isn't it? Yes, he is. That's unfortunate. I think they might. They definitely closed the gap on Alpine, because those two, Wiggly Style and Piero, they'll that gap will have closed down. But I'm chuffed for Haas. Both teams that were 10th in the Constructors' Championship in Tier 2 and Tier 1, both of them had 0 points, and then both of them have now scored a double point to finish in race 2 tonight. What a bizarre set of coincidence that is. So that was absolutely chaotic in that race, but there was a lot of action in the end. And we will have a chat with the drivers in the interview area. And good news is we have one of them with us now live. We've got our double race winner, Ben Roberts, who has just announced himself firmly in the hunt for the championship. Ben, 2 race wins. Tell me about race 1 first of all. That was a blockbuster finish on last lap. Tell me about that race 1.
Yeah, it was a crazy one. I mean, obviously with the was there a safety car near the end, or was it just there was a safety car, wasn't there? And and it was just really close, and I knew that staying behind was the best option. I didn't really have him on the lap before anyway, because I needed to save my ERS, so there's no point in ending a dive bomb when he'd be able to get it back on the next lap. But yeah, it was just good racing throughout. Joljo really helped me about halfway through the race. When he gave me like DRS and I closed within a second back to Born Winner when I'd just put the softs on, and I'd lost out about 2.5 seconds through the pits. I got a really bad entrance in, and yeah, it was just trying to fight it back through from then. And then the safety car kind of helped out at the end, but I was a bit nervous about some of the drivers behind. But yeah, we obviously with the slipstream and ERS, you're just able to kind of stay ahead on this track.
Yeah, you three at the front in that first race benefited from a back marker and Natty G sort of like not being able to get past the steps, so it just worked out in your favour. That one you broke away, like you said. Second race though, that was a completely different performance from you. You led from start to finish. How was that?
Yeah, it was a bit nerve-wracking, to be honest. Like 3 safety car restarts with the wet and just not knowing how the car kind of handle into turn 1, because we'd only had like 2 turn 1s and then we barely got all the way around the track. So yeah, the third restart was a bit sweaty on that one, but yeah, just trying to keep the composure really. I'm not feeling too well, to be honest. I've had a cold all week, so it's just like trying to keep going with the race and see it through. But yeah, I had great pace at the end, to be honest. I was able to keep everyone behind. I think I had Psycho just about covered, although he had great pace at the end as well. But yeah, it was just a close one, that.
Well, we are now past the halfway mark of the season. We've got Hungary next week, and my calculations are correct. I know that you're going to be 15 points clear going into Hungary at a Born Winner. How are you feeling? Because you've been involved in championship fights before with Tier 1 in Gavra. You obviously won Tier 2 back in the day against Joss. Is this your time, Ben, or are you still keeping your mind open?
I bloody hope so, mate. It's been, do you know how many championships I've done in Gavra, mate? Honestly, I'm in about my 10th, I don't know, but however long it's been going. I think I joined about like season 7 or something around then, season 6. So I've been doing it for a long time. Never won Tier 1, so I don't want to put any like jinxes on it. But they're feeling good this season. I think the track list suited me. I'm good at Vegas. Got a bit unfortunate in the first couple races. Portugal really didn't go my way. I think Austria, I think I just about scored a podium, but I think I had a penalty and dropped back or something. I can't exactly remember, but yeah, it's been some good racing, and just glad to kind of pull my way back and be able to fight Born Winner really, because at the start of today I wouldn't have been thinking that I was able to take the championship lead, because I was like 20 points behind. Really fortunate to have 2 good races here today.
And one last question for you. Hungary next week, what are your thoughts on that track?
Yeah, it's a bit, I always call it like Monaco and Wales, don't they? But I think, there is the opportunity for overtaking. It's just about there might be a bit of a DRS train. It's going to be all about qualifying, so it's going to be important to get a bit of practice in for that. I'm quite good at Hungary, and I quite like the track. So yeah, hoping for another good result really there.
Great stuff. Well, congratulations tonight on a double victory. Puts yourself in the lead of the championship, and hopefully more good luck in shoes for the rest of the season.
Yeah, thank you very much, mate. Great commentary.
Cheers, mate. Thanks.
Cheers.
All right, we're going to go over to the man who finished second in race 2 and, well, on the line pretty much at race 2. Psycho, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Before we go into race 2, I want to talk about race 1, because I thought you were going to be right in the hunt, and then the next thing you know, I'm seeing you facing the wrong way around. What happened?
I don't know. I felt like I was keeping up with the leaders. I don't know what's going on with this track, but I don't know. I just felt slow the whole time, even in qualifying. I tried my best to stay with them, and then I just kept... I think my tyres were finished already, because I used all of them in qualifying, so I started on used tyres. So my rear tyres were... I think they were on 40-something%, and I just kept spinning and I couldn't control the car, so I just pit. And then the safety car came out, which saved my race, and then managed to get up to P5. I think I did get a 5-second penalty, but it should be removed because yeah, I'm not sure. Well, I'm not going to say it should be removed and it doesn't, but I think it will be removed and it should put me P5, I think. So yeah, it wasn't a bad result, but I could have done it a lot better.
Yeah, obviously I can imagine there was a few bits of frustration for you through race 1, but complete flip side to race 2, you seem to be the only one who could really live with Ben's pace during it. But what happened to you when you were running in second at turn 10? Did you go off the track?
Yeah. I don't know what it is. I tried to like make my own setup. It was working for like the first few laps. I felt like I was keeping up with Ben a little bit, and then I don't know. I just locked up all 4 wheels, and then just went straight ahead. Managed to get back on the track and get second, but it could have been a lot worse. I almost hit the wall, so I just managed to. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there, but yeah.
I bet you were delighted though to get back past into second place on the exit. Did you tactically plan that out? Because what I saw going down the back straight on the final lap was that in terms of that fight, you kept a bit of your ERS back, whereas the other driver didn't.
Yeah. I'm not sure if you remember, but race 2 last year, not
Yeah.
last year, last season, it was me versus Ben to the line, and he beat me by, I think, less than half a tenth, because
Something like
he used that tactic where you let them use up all their ERS on the long straight, and then you use it on that little bit up to the line. So that's what I did, but basically learned from my mistake last time, and yeah, managed to get the P2. So I guess thank you to Ben.
I bet he'll be delighted.
Welcome, mate. No worries.
There you go, he's delighted with that. But for yourself, obviously, Psycho, you know, we're past the halfway mark of the season now, and you know, you've got some points today. You're going to be, if my mathematics are correct, you're going to be a little bit closer to the top 5 in the championship. Hungary next week. Is it a track you enjoy?
Yeah, Hungary's I think one of my top 3 favorite tracks. So yeah, I should be good around there. I'm not gonna jinx myself, but yeah, I'm hoping for a podium because this season hasn't gone my way at all. So
No.
yeah, I'm just hoping to collect some good results.
All right, brilliant. Nice one, Psycho. Well done on the second place result, and hopefully positive vibes moving forward for Hungary.
Yeah, thanks. Cheers for the commentary.
No worries. Thanks, mate. Okay, we're going to go to the last driver as we always do. The Steps is here with us. A brace of 5th places for the Steps. Tell us about it. Race 1 Steps seem to be quite a bit of chaos for you, but the safety car brought everything back together.
Yeah, it was interesting. The race 1, the first race was kind of just everything went right almost for me. I managed in the qualifying and even managed to help Ben, which I didn't plan to, by the way, but you're welcome. I managed to in the race managed to get a pretty decent undercut with the mediums, and yeah, kind of everything went into place. Kind of sad that I kind of messed up the last corner. Could have gone fourth, but I'll take 5th in tier 1 any day.
Yeah, obviously, I mean, it was a decent result. It's a shame that you didn't get, obviously, that traction out of the final corner, but hey-oh, you know, 5th place around Vegas when it's a bit of a lottery isn't too bad at all. Second race was a bit different for you. You had to fight your way back through. What happened in the opening lap of the chaos? Because there was so much going on that I didn't really have the chance to see what happened to you in that first lap.
Yeah, it was after the second safety car, I think, when Sherry braked very late.
That was it,
and
yeah.
Took me with him. I was on the outside and kind of like weed and the grass with mower. I came with him and had to fight my way back, and again claim 5th in a wet race in Vegas, where I probably think no one know what to do, where to brake, and etc. So again, 5th place, I'll take it any day.
I'm looking forward next week, Hungary. What are your thoughts?
I mean, I said everything I already Wanted to. Yeah, I'm just looking forward to it.
Yeah. All right, Steps. Well, well done today on the brace of 5th places, and hopefully, you know, more good results moving forward next week.
Thanks, Jack. See you next week.
See you next week. Right, well, that is it, everybody. Thank you very much for joining us here at Gavra tonight at Vegas. It's been a quadruple set of races from Tier 2 and Tier 1, where there's been a lot of action, a lot of intrigue, and last lap drama across the board. But tonight in Tier 1, there has been just the one race winner in the form of Ben Roberts, who now leads the championship, moving on to Hungary next time out. But in terms of commentary, I've been Jack TM53, your commentator for Tier 1 and Tier 2 here at Gavra Racing. Wherever you might be in the big wide world, have a good one. See you next week.